Hello everyone. Today's game we're going to look at is from Amsterdam Interzonal 1964 between Mikhail Tal with the white pieces and Georgy Tringov with the black pieces. This is a famous game. You might have seen it before, but nevertheless, I want to share it with those who might have not seen it. So the game started off E4 from Tal, G6 from Tringov. So this is the uh, beginning of the modern defense at the D4 and Bishop G7. And just to let you know, the subject of this game is basically going to be about development and what to do with the lead of development in the position. All right, so here we have the so-called modern defense, and basically this is characterized by um, black being uh, able to have very flexible development. Of course, he pays for that in lack of lack of space. All right, but he kind of holds his pawns back in the center and kind of gives white leeway in the center, as you can see, so that he will have more flexibility. All right, but chess is chess, and eventually black has to get his pieces out. All right. So basically, he's saying, okay, white, I'm gonna let you set up how you want, but and I'm gonna kind of counter punch basically here. So that's black's general strategy, is a counter punching strategy. So knight c3, d6, knight f3. So you can see real almost beginner level type development here from Tal, right? Like everybody knows to set up the white pieces like this. Okay, c6, right, from Tringov, and bishop g5 from Tal. Again, this is almost like beginner uh uh type play here. Bishop e2 can be played here, right, with the idea of just castling at the knight f6, right? With c6 here, obviously, black is possibly planning on countering on the queen side at some point, maybe with moves like b5 and b4, hitting this knight and driving it away. All right. Another idea is the opening up of this diagonal so that the queen can come out, often pinning this knight here on c3 and putting pressure indirectly on e4, say after moves like knight f6 at some point. All right. So queen b6. So Tringov violates one of our basic beginner rules, which is bringing the queen out early. Um, and he brings it out in order to attack this b2 pawn here. Um, a better move is just simply knight f6, and then you're kind of transposed into a Pirc's defense, right? Simple chess. Or bishop g4. All right, again, putting some pressure indirectly here, right, and fighting for these dark squares. So queen b6 is a little suspect, right? There's pressure here and here, but again, queen is such a high-ranking piece. If you were to think of it in terms of like a real war situation, right? You want your high-ranking officers like right on the, right in the midst of the battle, especially right at the beginning, right? You never put your king on the front lines, right, or a high-ranking piece on the front line. So that's kind of what you're doing when you bring the queen out early. You're exposing the queen to all types of attacks right at the beginning of the game while all the minor pieces are still on the board. Tal, in response, just simply plays queen d2. So he ignores this pawn, right? And he just continues development. So Tringov takes the pawn, queen takes b2. Notice now that after rook b1, gaining time on the queen, right, an attack on the queen, queen a3, and bishop c4, notice the lead in development that black has here. Right, if we were just to count the pieces that are moved from white's back rank. We had the queen here. That's one. The rook, two. Bishop, three. Another bishop, four. Two knights. So we have 5 pieces moved off the back rank for white and only 2 for black. All right, so this is good. However, the problem here for white is that the position is still closed. So if black can just keep the position closed, then eventually he will be able to indeed catch up in development eventually. Okay, so perhaps with moves like knight d7, right? Then follow that up if with knight gf6. Of course, this is if black would be able to get a few moves in a row. Perhaps then after knight gf6 castles, right? Then you can see that slowly, if given enough time, that black would be able to unravel, um, not unravel, but catch up in development. All right. So this is basically the gauntlet that has been cast down. Um, Development is one of those advantages that is temporary, and you have to act on it. All right. So sorry about that phone call. So anyway, again, I like to explain it like this, right? Development. Say for example, this is going back thousands of years ago, right? And you are going to like besiege a city. Let's say you have 1,000 soldiers, right, on the outside of the gates of that city, right? The city is surrounded by walls, though, right? You have 1,000 soldiers on the outside, but inside there's only say like 200 soldiers. So you're outnumbering the soldiers, right, severely. You have 800 more troops, uh, right on the outside than on the inside. However, there's a big wall, right, that's blocking you from being able to take that city. Okay, the only way you're going to be able to utilize your advantage of numbers is you have to tear down that wall first. Okay, so that then the your superiority in numbers will manifest itself. All right, it's the same thing on the board right now. Yes, Tal has a tremendous lead in development. All right, however, if he cannot break through the wall, so to speak, which is in this case the pawn structure, if he cannot get behind that wall, then the development doesn't mean anything. All right. So in this particular position, black is still okay. Although he's behind in development, black is still okay. All black has to do is gradually develop his pieces and keep the position closed. At this moment, there's nothing that white can really do to force um, the issue, right? And it's black to move here. Let's continue. So Tringov moved the queen again, right? Queen a5 again. Maybe just knight f6 is right, but then maybe he was worried about rook b3. Okay, after rook b3, then maybe you can move the queen at this point. All right. So queen a5 was played, castle, and then now e6 is played here. Okay. Now here, the problem here is that you're setting up your position where where white will be able to achieve some type of breakthrough at some point, right? Namely with the move like d5. Not at this point, because of course you can see the knight attacked, but eventually with the pawn here and the pawn here, d5 is the type of move that would allow white to break through the position. Okay, again, move like knight d7 here is good. Kind of toying with black here, white here, and not allowing him to open up the position. All right. So, like for example, let's say knight d7, e5. A move like e5 is playable here. right? And then D5 keeping the position closed, or move like D takes E5 here also works. And again, you would lose the pawn. So it's just an example. E5 is not the best move, but just to show you that black's not really in any danger. White would have to continue to develop with moves, say, like rook Fe1. And then black can play a move like knight B6, just harassing the white position. But notice how the position is just staying closed. Okay? Right? Here, again, move like H6, harassing black pieces, excuse me, the white pieces. You play a move like bishop G4. And black starts to unravel his position to get his pieces up. Instead, he played E6. Tal played rook Fe1. And Tringov played A6. Okay, so obviously he understands that he has to keep the position close, but what he's done by playing the move E6 previously is he's created a weakness here in the position that Tal can latch onto. See, now in this position, right, if he plays knight E7, now he has to worry about not being able to castle after bishop takes E7, king takes E7, and then knight D5. Again, this kind of forces conclusion of things as you have this check here and the queen is exposed. So after A6, Tal starts probing the position and plays bishop F4. Now you're hitting this pawn right here. All right. E5. All right, looks like a good move. However, it doesn't work tactically because, can you guess? It allows white to open up the position to his advantage. D takes E5, D takes E5, and now queen D6. So now this pawn is attacked 3 times, and the queen is way up on the open file. Notice Tal just lets go of the knight, and obviously Tringov probably did not expect this move. Right? He probably expected, him to try to maybe hold on to the, to the piece. Queen takes D6. Queen takes C3. And now just simply rook ED1. Threatening mate here. Knight D7, right? Stops the mate. Okay. However, the light squares are severely weakened. Tal takes us back to the 1800s with the bishop sacrifice on F7. Paul Morphy style. Bishop takes F7 check. King takes F7. Knight G5 check. King E8. Queen E6 check. And it's going to be mate in 3. So black resigned. So not the greatest game by black, but a simple beginners level type game that you could learn a lot from by going over this game. I've looked at this game, on and off throughout the years, and it's just amazing that a strong player could just be crushed with just such basic chess moves. And you can see here that Tal just simply is following just general principles. Okay, and right, he just developed his pieces, took control of the center. Black made a few mistakes and allowed some weakness in the position, which eventually led to the opening of the position. And that was once the position became open. Notice how white's lead in development, right, became a factor. As long as the position was closed, the lead in development meant very little. But once the position became open, it became a factor, deciding factor in the game. So that's the basic lesson for today. You get a lead in development, open the position. If you're behind in development, try to keep the position closed while you consolidate your position, and try to avoid creating weaknesses in your position, as Black did here with the move e6, which left the d6 pawn vulnerable. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that game. Please support my channel by clicking on the links below, and I will see you in the comment section and on the next video.